There's going to be just a little bit of a different posture, but we're paying close attention to disinformation as that is part of the overall election protection plan. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the polls tomorrow. Whenever Maricopa County does an election of any size, it's a global election. We've got about 3,000 voters around the world that we send ballots to all over the place. So some of the data that we put together here is really interesting. So for example, our mapping department is really integrated into the entire system. What we do is every time somebody pops up another little subdivision, we've got to have the addresses up. And as you know, Maricopa County grows super fast. Yeah. So we've got to constantly be upgrading and changing and updating information. So somebody knocks down a few houses and puts up a fourplex, we've got to know exactly what's going on. Back over here is the mail room. And so as you can see, there's a lot of ballots to be processed. So let's walk around the back here and I'll show you. It's kind of a big place. Morning, everybody. Morning. We'll have a bunch of crews in here tomorrow night, starting, I think they either start at 9 or 10, and they'll go till about 3 or 4 in the morning. Just bringing it in. So why don't you go ahead and follow me on out, and we'll, how we doing, man? Good? Doing good. I cannot thank you enough. When we sent out that first email, I'm not even kidding, in the first hour and a half, we had 150 county employees say, yes, we want to help. So I really, on behalf of my whole department, everybody at the election department, you guys are really saving our tails. When you see the amount of work that we're going to have to get through, you're going to be like, wow, I'm glad I'm here. I'm going to split you guys up by party, and I'm just going to go around the room. Republican, Democrat, whatever. Different parties? Okay, fine. How about you two? We run these ballots through, bing, 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 and you'll see that during the course of the day. Some of those ballots won't go through and get tabulated. They'll get outstacked, and that means they come up. We've turned the safeties back on this year. They weren't on for years, so we're saving a lot more votes. And so your job is to audit the machines so we can preserve as many of these individual votes as possible. It's a significant increase in the volume of work that we have to do, but it preserves these votes, and that's why we're doing it. Folks, see this? Where this voter just did arrows, they did their own arrows. See that? They did their own arrows. Okay? What are we looking at? We're looking at a question of voter intent. We are not tasked with deciding what the voter's intent is in this stage, merely that there is a question of voter intent. This will go to the duplication board. Let them worry about it. I have questions, I know. Yeah. All right, what do you got?
We just can't figure out what's wrong with this ballot.
Okay. See that bleed through? That's going to count as a double vote.
Oh.
We want to save that candidate's vote, and in order to do that, we need to duplicate this entire ballot. All right, where's your partner?
In the restroom.
Whoa. You both have to agree on every single ballot, so you have to wait. Okay? Okay.
We're trading. Like, I can't find it, you find it.
Yeah, but you both got to agree on every single one.
So it's this.
But that line monitoring is going to become really interesting once that, because then we'll have the hour by hour, and we'll see if that's really going to be able to make a difference as we move through the day. The same patterns exist everywhere. So this will help confirm that, right? But we're not expecting any anomalies like giant busloads of people showing up at noon. It's not going to happen. We're going to have well over 100,000 that are going to have to go through the snag process now that we turn the safeties back on for the C400s. So that's unexpectedly high. So we're going to have to get a lot more central board folks in that process. We've already worked through so many of those issues and are working real far past that stuff. So we're really very much focused today on setting up for Tuesday Election Day, and we're going to move forward as we go on. All right.
Thank you for your time. I know you're super busy.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you came in early because we had double booked some folks.
The goal is you feel like there's always room to improve, to make the process easier, to make it better.
What's your view on that?
Absolutely. Well, if you know anything about American elections, they didn't used to be secret. They didn't used to be on standardized ballots. They didn't used to be counted by machine. We didn't used to have computers in the system. So every year we've got technological advances that we may or may not use. We've got certifications that we've got to meet. Two things that have really impressed me since taking office. Number one is the complexity of the administration of elections. It really is a complex game. As has been indicated, there's a million moving parts. But number two is the professional dedication of the people that have been in this office for decades. Right, so, well, actually, we're already going through a whole bunch of the different stages, and all of the ballots are moving, but bit by bit. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. No, por favor, no se me lo mande por correo porque no lo vamos a poder garantizar que lo vamos a recibir a tiempo.
So how confident, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're 100%, bars and active, God, how confident are you that everything is going to open on time tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.?
I'm confident that we're going to make our best efforts. I'd give it about maybe about an 8.5. I think we're doing really well. I'd like to see us move more into the 9.5. But you know, it's a big job, and there's a million moving parts. So
Why not a 10? Why aren't we 100% sure everything's going to be? I have a copy of the contract, but that doesn't show. The contract does not show. It shows what you guys agreed to, but it doesn't
it showed that they
how
guaranteed us.
many showed up.
It showed that they guaranteed us there were going to be so many, and our report shows exactly how many showed up, which was not what they guaranteed. Because it's more fun to pick on the politician, which is
We looked
cool.
at inside, we
I
looked
get
at
it.
We have the contract. We reported the contract. There was the internal audit from the county, and you guys put together.
That's exactly right. Absolutely, it does. Put 2 and 2 together, man.
Yeah.
But if tomorrow goes well, we are absolutely going.
No, you're not. Come on, man. You guys are going to look for every little nook and cranny of problem, and that's just the way it's going to go. I want one nugget.
Want one nugget? There was
Just one nugget.
nugget left over from my lunch.
That's lunch.
And you should see that it'll probably, tomorrow is the midterm election. You know what happened in 2016, Helen Purcell, you know what happened in what the expectations are this time around. Are you feeling a lot of pressure? Are you feeling a lot of, boy, you better come through this time as opposed to last time?
We've been working so hard to make sure that we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's. And look, the reality is this. We're not going to get it 100% perfect. Nobody ever does. There's not an election administrator in the United States of America who's going to tell you that. However, even though we are expecting minor stuff to happen, and it always does, we're prepared to deal with it quickly, and that's the critical component here.
You're like an NFL team like the center who hikes the ball for the field goal, and then they kick the field goal. The center does his job and doesn't get any coverage, and no one ever knows who they are. You are only going to get coverage, fair or not, when you kind of screw up.
When you don't snap the ball right.
And
that, fair or not, that's just
I
what's gonna
get that.
happen.
So if we're going to treat all of this like sports, okay. But this is our democracy we're talking about. This is serious business, right? I have a good time with it. I enjoy being the county recorder. I like being a public official. It's fun. But at the end of the day, this is the most serious business in our country. There is no more important job. We've been declared part of our critical infrastructure by the Department of Homeland Security. We're working very hard against voter suppression, which is when people raise serious doubts about this stuff, they're really putting voters in a position to say, gosh, it's not going to matter because it's all broken. And I would love to say, not only to you all, but to everybody else out there, our systems work well. Voting is not difficult, and it is something that every eligible citizen should be doing.
What do you want to see? If 70%, let's say 70 to 80% of the population in Maricopa County or Arizona, I forget the stat, is already mailed their ballot in, why not just go full mail or do something a little different? We should have the technology. Do we have the technology? Why do people still want to show up on election day and vote? And what would you like to see?
If we could go 100% ballot by mail and I could get something just south of 200 vote centers across Maricopa County, we would have a great voter experience, we'd have a lot of accountability, and our security circumstance would go through the roof. Have you guys voted?
I have.
You have.
Yeah, I
Have
already
you?
returned my ballot.
Fantastic.
Thank you for coming in. I hope
Thank
we
you.
don't talk tomorrow. I hope everything goes great.
Well, I hope we do talk tomorrow and you're congratulating me.
All right, we'll do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you? Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Tomorrow is Election Day, a big day for a lot of folks, including elections officials here in Maricopa County, where technical issues and training problems caused delays and confusion at a number of polling places during the primaries in August. Is the county ready to go for tomorrow's much bigger vote? We ask County Recorder Adrian Infante. It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So are you ready?
You bet.
You sure?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you got
I mean,
backup,
look,
you got backup plans? and
we
everything ready to go?
have plans for our plans, and we've been working really hard with a lot of folks in a lot of different areas. You know, after August 28th, it was Saturday, September 1st. We called everybody in, and we're like, okay, how are we going to get by this, and what are we going to do? And the first thing was we're going to set this up ourselves. And the next thing was, let's make sure we've got everybody trained up, and let's make sure we've got enough people to make that happen. Thanks so much.
Oh, that's right, you gotta keep that, don't you?
Yeah, we got this thing going.
Good
Always
luck.
good seeing you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll catch you after the election.
Afterwards? Yeah, we'd like to, you know,
Yeah.
get them on afterwards.
You bet.
We'll talk about how wonderful everything was. Here we go.
Thank you. Thanks, folks. Better watch it. I'll start whistling again.
I know.
Watch yourself, girlfriend.
And as we count down to Election Day, many voters know we've had problems here at the polls in our state. We're talking long lines, computer glitches. In fact, back in August, dozens of polling sites opened late.
So the question tonight, is Maricopa County ready for tomorrow? ABC 15's Mike Pelton joining us live in Scottsdale with that. Mike?
Well, good afternoon. We're here in Scottsdale at one of the in-person early voting centers that's just ramping up. Voters tell me this has gone really well, and we'll see if tomorrow we're problem-free at the polls. County Recorder Adrian Infante says they are in pretty good shape with setup. In the August primary, more than 60 polling sites open late, sparking multiple audits into the problem. This time around, Fontes is relying on election workers, not a contractor, to set up election equipment like check-in stations at each polling site. We sat in on some of that training last week.
The reality is, this is a very complicated business. So my hedge is an honest hedge. I think we have to be honest with the voters and let them know that this is a tough business, and we're going to do everything that we can to give them a good experience.
Yeah, our Mesa elections goes off the freeway.
Okay. All right.
Fontes, Christie, can you give me the exact word on what a political observer can ask and what they can do?
They
can
can-
only observe.
They can only talk to the inspector if they have questions.
Okay, they're trying to go to board worker.
What's that?
So they're good now. They're not
Biscuit
clocked
flat's
in,
good?
but they're in. Yeah. 175 is still a problem. Okay.
We're good.
566 probably 304. I think I could just. Is that?
I got it.